Will it be a happy new year for jobs? Hello, everyone. I'm Charles Payne in for Neil Cavuto. And call it the healthcare elephant in the office. Because even with Obamacare employer mandate pushed off until 2015, companies are preparing for it in the new year, and they're preparing for the worst. To Charlie Gasparino, Sandra Smith, Adam Lashinsky, and Gary Kaltbaum. Gary K., employers are ready now to start doing things that maybe the administration thought they would actually put off a year from now.
Well, Charles, it has been a problem. It is a problem, and it's going to be a problem. And it's a simple reason. You add the words uncertainty and higher costs to the equation, and businesses pull back. There's already surveys out there where 40% of businesses are cutting hours, are actually turning full-time employees into part-time, and it's only going to get worse as we move forward.
You know, Sandra, I mean, if you're a large corporation, no need in putting this off. You know, you have long-term strategic planning. You know it's coming. To Gary's point, we've already been called the part-time nation. More than likely, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, and I think even the bigger number to look at here, aside from the fact that one of the latest business surveys showed that business owners have already decreased their workforce, about 31% of them have said that they've already lowered their workforce. The bigger thing to look at here is the way they think that Obamacare and this employer mandate is going to affect their business. 64% of business owners say that they believe that it's going to negatively impact their business. And they're not even being really specific as to why. And that's part of the problem, Charles. The rules can still change. The regulations are still unknown. People still don't really know how this is going to affect their business. And that's going to continue to have them not only lowering their workforce, but looking forward, possibly not hiring.
Right. And, you know, and Charlie, the bottom line is, listen, they're delaying this. But everyone knows it's inevitable. And if you're a big business, even a small business, you take action now.
I think this is going to be worse for small business. And I mean, I think that's the problem. The economy is starting to show some signs of a decent pickup now. 5 years after the financial crisis, finally, after all that stimulus has been pumped into the system, endless amounts of money printing. Finally, we're getting some decent job numbers. We're getting some decent growth. However, the elephant in the room, as you said, is Obamacare. And here's the thing. Big businesses, the GEs, the big companies, they have scale. They can spread these costs over a lot of people across the globe. They're multinational businesses, they're international businesses in many countries. It's the small businesses that get screwed. And here's the thing. When you look at the drivers of the economy, where employment picks up coming out of a recession or an economic slowdown or a weak economy, it's usually small businesses. So they're actually, you know, shooting the one business, hurting the one part of the economy that President Obama needs to sustain job growth going into the 2016 midterms.
And Adam, the pickup on that even more, small businesses could be facing a $2,000 fine per employee. That adds up very quickly for a small business.
Well, of course it does. So let's get a couple things out of the way. First of all, certainty would be better. If we knew exactly what was going to happen, that would obviously be better. Nobody's going to argue with that.
Although
Secondly,
we do know the employer mandate comes back at some point. Hence the premise of this segment that employers are going to take action now and not wait until 2015.
Well, I think they will wait. Maybe they ought to. I would agree that they ought to take action now. What they ought to do is go ahead and make their plans, assume the mandate is coming, assume what the expenses are going to be, and behave accordingly. You know, Charlie grudgingly pointed out that the economy is getting better, that the job picture is getting better. So all businesses, whether they're GE, size, or whether they're a mom and pop shop, need to plan for what their future is going to look like.
Adam,
I want to say something quickly about this part-time issue.
Let Adam finish. Let Adam finish. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, just real quickly, Cassandra raised an interesting point. I mean, people will move to part-time where they can, but employers know that a full-time employee has value that a part-time employee doesn't. So they need to make a decision. It's their choice how they want to grow their business.
Adam grudgingly made the point here that there's some uncertainty here. We don't actually have some uncertainty here, Adam. We have the motherload of uncertainty with this thing. This is insanely uncertain. It's uncertain for doctors. It's uncertain for employers. Guess who else is uncertain for? The people in the White House who won't admit how uncertain this thing is. So remember, when you talk about uncertainty with businesses, that's a given with any business. That's a given with any business. This is the mother of all uncertainty.
Let's go back to Sandra for a second, because Adam said that employees were going to part-time. They're not voluntarily going to part-time. They're being forced to go to part-time.
Certainly, Charles, I'm sorry.
Well, someone's grudgingly going to part-time. Sandra,
I meant to say employers are doing that.
Right.
That's right. And you know, we saw that start out with Applebee's. A bunch of the restaurant chains said, you know what, it doesn't behoove us to keep you on full-time. Let's go to part-time. But I think at the end of the day, guys, the broad picture here is the message that this sends to current entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs, kids graduating from college right now, is that we have a business-unfriendly environment in this country right now, one in which this administration is saying, we don't care how this is going to affect your business. This is for the better of the people of the United States. That's the wrong message to send. Companies don't want to hire in that environment.
Well, you would definitely have this whole argument over whether fairness should trump capitalism. Gary Kay, Charlie talked about the economy coming back. Everyone knows it is coming back gradually, and it's really tepid. This Obamacare thing, could this be the thing that sinks any potential job growth next year?
Well, I think it already has and will. The bottom line is the economy would be so much better off if this was out of the way. You know, Adam says, you know, certainty needs to be better. I got news for you. We are certain, and the certainty is that nobody knows what the hell is going on. And the bigger problem is we read every day. There's Adam, let me finish. There are waivers for certain people. There's talk about unions getting their way. Yeah. This is not the way things should be run. And when I speak to the business community all the time, they just don't know what the heck is going on and where things are going to be.
Adam, here's how you know it's a huge mess. Guess who's stopping this from being fully implemented? It's the guy whose name is on it. It's not like the Republicans are stopping this thing. They're being, they're trying to extort other things out of the president. I mean, this is obstruction. This is the president.
We've had a patchwork of new provisions, new changes to the rules. Almost every day the deadlines change. I mean, it's pretty problematic for the White House, and I think we have to be concerned it's going to impact jobs.
I'm excited about this conversation because it's, we're having a really good conversation here. Sandra said something that was very true. As a society, we've decided that having health care, as good as health care as we can have for as many people as possible, is one of our most important goals, and we're executing on that. We're not doing a very good job.
This is not an execution.
Pretty, but maybe
it is an execution. They're destroying, they're killing the system.
But that
public policy goal.
Let's remember what they did here with this, Adam, and this is why business is scared about this. They have quadrupled down on the worst part of the healthcare system, which is all this insurance and how crazy it is. They've basically taken the current system, which everybody knows is horrible, and expanded it.
Adam, I don't think society has decided that everybody's premiums and everybody's deductibles are going higher. I don't think society has decided any of that. So I think you need to be careful. You know who decided all this? The White House.
Guys, let's give Sandra the last word on this. Sandra.
Unfortunately, the American people also didn't decide that they wanted a health care program implemented in the United States that basically lowered the current workforce. And that's what's happening. Businesses are not going to be willing to hire if their costs go up exponentially. The adverse impact and the adverse effects of this health care law are not what the American people were hoping for.
Gary Kay, I cut you off. Go ahead, Gary Kay.
This whole thing started with a big lie. Now we're in the midst of it, and there's more pain to come. It's going to get worse in 14. It's going to be even worse in 15, and the worst is yet to come.
All right, taking a page from Neil's book, I'll put you down as a no, Charlie down as a no, and Sandra down as a no, and Adam as a maybe. All right, thanks, guys.